What's up guys? Back at it again with another tutorial. This is gonna be a tutorial on macacos and scoots. Listen close. Who knows? You might learn something new with this tutorial that you never knew. Maybe you can do these, maybe you can't. Maybe these tips that I give you in this will help. Stay tuned to find out. Now, those of you who aren't entirely sure what a scoot or a macaco is, let's just go over the basics. Pretty much, a macaco is similar to a one-handed back handspring. If you're a tumbler or if you're a gymnast, it would be similar to a one-handed back handspring in a twisted kind of way. And a scoot would be similar to a round off in a twisted kind of way. Let me show you what they are just so that I can be more specific and you can visualize it with me. We got the two-footed macaco, where you do the macaco back and you land with 2 feet. For example, macaco, land with 2 feet. I prefer it is if you did the one-footed macaco, all right? That's where you land 1 foot at a time. Down, macaco, and 1. That's where you can build a lot of momentum and power when you're building up into other tricks. Now the scoot, let's talk about the scoot. What the scoot would look like from a standing position would look like this. And from a kneeling position would look like this. Notice how I'm leaning down on one hand and literally scooting out to the side. Just scooting out to the side is a move to build momentum, to build power, and to just create all-around awesomeness when doing your parkour tricks. Awesomeness when tricking. Let's start with the macaco. This first part is gonna be for people who are brand new, so if you're not brand new, go ahead and fast forward a little bit. First step you're gonna do is to go down into the crab position, but just turn your hands out a little bit. This is just to get you used to leaning back on your arms and knowing where to put your weight. I go to the right. Honestly, I can go both ways, but we're gonna go to the right today. If I lean to the right, I'm gonna be putting a lot of weight on my shoulder, and that's what I want. That's what you wanna feel. You wanna feel a lot of weight on your shoulder. Just lift up your arm, and I want you to walk around your hand, all right? Let's do that again. Get down into the crab. Turn your hand out. Lift up your arm, walk around your hand. Super simple. Let's make it a little bit more complicated. You find out that just walking around your hand is so easy. You took country swing dance classes, you know what that is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up that arm again, and we're gonna practice just hopping over to the side. You see how I did that? I went down, got into the crab position, and then I hopped over. Just a tiny, tiny hop. It's nothing big. Think of it like the Keebler hop. You know the Keebler, that Keebler elf for those little chocolate cookies? Please tell me you know what the Keebler elf is. If you say you don't know, I'll actually be disappointed. I may cry. I think I'm crying right now. Nope, false alarm. Back down in the crab position. You find that the little jump is too easy for you. Here's what we're gonna do to make it more complicated. Get back in the position, and you're gonna jump harder this time. Lean backwards, and you're gonna give a little bit more of a jump. Lean up, jump. Mostly it's just about progressing and getting higher and higher and higher with these jumps. Into the crab, lean back, jump. Getting higher and higher, lean back, jump, until you're getting as high as you possibly can. Now this is where you're gonna have to focus. Listen close. Well, you can't put your phone away because you're probably watching this on your phone. Put your distractions away and listen close. When it becomes too easy to just sit in the crab position and jump back, you have to make it more complicated. The way to do this is to start standing and to completely skip over the whole crab section. We don't like the crabby parts. The crabby parts, we don't like them. For example, what I want you to do is start up, and instead of falling back into the crab, you're gonna sit down, put your hand down, and then jump backwards into it. The first time might feel weird. You might, hopefully you don't hurt your wrist on the first time, but you just want to be super, super strong with it. Put weight on your arm. A common thing that people do is they sit back and they spin in a circle because they get nervous to put weight on the arm. Do not be afraid to put weight on your arm, because if you are afraid, that's when, bad things are going to happen, and we don't like bad things. That's why we're here, to learn good things. You're going to sit down, put your hand down, and jump. Macaco. Let's do it again. Start standing, sit down, lean back, jump. And you just want to start jumping higher and higher. Let me take a second and just tell you guys, you're not only just falling back onto that hand, but you need to make sure that you start jumping backwards onto your hand. If you're not jumping backwards onto your hand, how is this skill ever going to help you progress? You learn to jump backwards onto that hand. You learn to jump backwards into a back handspring. You learn to jump backwards into a back tuck. It's a progressive move. Each move builds off of each other. You start at the basics, to learn the more complex. If you do not learn the basics, the complex are in a different world. Let's go back to this. I want you to watch me this time as I sit down and jump onto my hand. Not just fall onto my hand, but I'm going to jump onto my hand. Start standing. Sit down, jump onto my hand. Start standing. Sit down, jump back onto my hand. If you notice, my legs aren't kicking to the side as much as they were at the beginning. I'm no longer kicking out like I was at the start, but I'm now beginning to kick my legs up over the top. If you're a gymnast, it's almost like a one-handed back bend kickover, but it's not, it's a macaco. Let's do it again. This time, I want you to jump as hard as you can. You learn the progression from the walk, from the jump, to the fall back and jump. That's the macaco. Let me show you one more time. Go. Thank you. Now, please always, always, always be as safe as possible. There is a difference between bravery and stupidity. If you feel like you're gonna fall on your head, you're probably gonna fall on your head. Be smart about the trick. Be strong with your arms. One trick that I tell people in order to get their parkour better, to get their tricking better, to get their tumbling better, whatever it is, do push-ups, do frog jumps. Let's do a push-up. Push-up. One. Push-up. These are push-ups. So this is just a basic thing you can do to build arm strength, to build shoulder strength, to build everything strength. It'll help you with your round-offs, with your scooting, and with your macacos, with everything. The other one that I said is frog jumps. These are simple. You learn them in second grade. Let me go ahead and show you a couple. That was me. I did those. Now, these are the kinds of exercises that not a lot of people like doing. The reason being, they make you breathe hard and they hurt your muscles. That's crazy because that's exactly what makes your muscles grow. Weird how that works. Make sure you do them every day. I can't stress it enough. If you did 20 push-ups every day, you might think to yourself, that's not a lot of push-ups. 20 push-ups? But guess what? That's 20 more push-ups than you were probably doing yesterday or every other day before that. If you do 20 frog jumps every day, not only are you gonna be able to jump higher and higher and higher, that's 20 more frog jumps than you did yesterday. That's incredible. I guarantee most people don't do 20 frog jumps a day. So if you do 20 frog jumps a day and 20 push-ups a day, you're setting yourself aside from the rest of the world, which is incredible. I respect that. Let's move on to the scoot. So as I was saying, there is a couple different variations with the scoot. There's the scoot from the knee position and there's a scoot from the standing position. The scoot from the knee position is a little bit easier, and I would dare say a little bit more basic than the scoot from the standing position. That doesn't mean that you get less power from it. It all depends on you. It depends on how hard you're willing to jump and how hard you're willing to try. The knee scoot, just as a refresher, you start on one knee. Start with the opposite leg forward. I'm going to put my left hand on the ground and form a triangle with my right foot, my left hand, and my left knee. From here, it's going back to that little tip that we learned with the macaco, and that's putting weight on our arms. Put your weight on your left arm. That's going to be your pivot point. I put my left hand down. I reach in front a little bit. I'm going to hop forward, pivot on my left hand, and land on my back foot, which in this case would be my left foot. Did you see it? Let me do it again. Right leg forward, left knee back. Left hand on the ground, reaching forward. I'm going to put weight onto my hand and lunge forward and land on my back foot. Lunge, back foot. Okay? To start connecting things with the scoot, you can totally just land the scoot and then jump for a 360, or you can jump for anything that you want to jump for. Let me go ahead and demonstrate something real quick. Here we go. Scoot, 360. It's that simple. Do it one more time. Knee forward, foot back, hand forward. Scoot across and land on that back foot. Scoot, back foot. If you've done tumbling before, you've done gymnastics, you'll be like, hey, but Coach Tucker or Big T, whatever you want to call me, isn't this kind of like a cartwheel? And you know what I'll tell you? Yeah, it is, okay? It's all based off of each other. It's variations of a different trick. Let's do the scoot from the standing position. I'm still going to start with my left or with my right leg forward. Remember, I tumble left, so I start with my right leg forward. And I'm still preparing with my left hand, my pivot point, okay? I'm going to lunge into this one again, my left hand on the ground, my back foot is going to swing around the same way that it did in the scoot from my knees, all right? Only that this one I'm higher up, I'm not as low. So let me put my hand on the ground and scoot. It's the same thing, the exact same thing, only that you start standing up. So let me get into position. As you can see, I'm lunged into the scoot. I have my hand on the ground as the pivot point. I'm going to jump and spin around the pivot point and land on my back leg. For example, with a scoot, you can land with 1 foot, you can land with 2 feet. It's preferable to do swing throughs, that way you can start connecting backflips and aerials and just different tricks like that, as well as kicks, macacos, just anything that you want to do. It's been a long day. So the one thing that I can tell you from this video that would be so crucial to you, when you're doing a scoot, your arm is the pivot point. When you're doing a macaco, your arm is the pivot point. You have to make sure that you can hold weight on your arms. Do those push-ups. Do those push-ups.
Push-ups, push-ups.
Frog jumps. Frog jumps, frog jumps, push-ups, push frog jumps. So guys, these are just a couple of really basic tricks. Very, very basic, but super, super, super important. Important? Important. Important. Depends on where you're from. These are super, super important tricks. And I know that you guys can do them. If you have any questions or you have any comments, go ahead and leave them below. Give this video a like. I'm still new at making these, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing with the videos. I'm used to doing this in person, but go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos and prepare for them to just get better and better and better. Thanks guys, I'm out.